Alrighty, so today we have the news. It is Sunday, and we have a 1 hour maintenance, which is kind of weird considering we're getting a new banner. Normally these sort of every other week sort of updates have at least a couple of hours because they're adding stuff, but there's been not a whole lot of events and stuff like that coming out since the first couple of weeks of this festival have been going on, and they have, just so you know, they have already started doing the countdown for the collab on JP. So it is official, we are getting a collab as the update after this one. So next Tuesday for us, we will be getting a collab. So just so you know, obviously this Shin is not great, and you are probably going to skip anyway, just letting you know. So either way, if you're new to the channel or anything, feel free to subscribe, come hang out with us sometime. We do normally do live summons and everything, and I will be doing live summons for this character whenever he drops, but it is a step-up banner, so it's not going to be anything super crazy, won't be too long. We'll probably be doing maybe a little bit of testing with him, and then we'll probably do a little bit of testing with Gloxinia as well, because he is getting an LR in this update. So we have the brand new blue Shin, and honestly, he is pretty mediocre. I'm actually going to open up 70s database really quick, just because I really only read over his passive whenever he came out on JP's patch notes. So he is, for every human ally participating in battle, increase the human ally's attack-related stats by 5%, and at the start of the ally's turn, apply a buff that decreases defense-related stats by 10% to all enemies for 1 turn. So, for whatever reason, really bare minimum here, he is just doing just enough to be a character, I guess. I don't know why they decided to keep him so low profile. I assume it's just because he's a step-up banner, and step-up banners are really cheap. But yeah, 15% basically attack-related stats is not that great. That's the same as Ragnarok Bond gives you in the back. And 10% defense-related stats is okay, I guess. It's not really anything super impressive. Obviously, I mean, it's really nice running the human team, and your whole goal is to crit in general, so giving Bond maybe that little bit of extra, you know, crit chance, as well as lowering their crit resistance and crit defense. That's kind of nice, but I don't know. He didn't look super impressive. He's using the same stats as old school Shin, the green and the red one, so he's got bad stats, so his CC is terrible, and the Sins team is the current meta team right now, so that and the Demon team both have pretty good CC, which means that more than likely you're not going to go first with this character, and he has to be in the front line. It doesn't say it on here, but he is a frontline character. You cannot use him in the sub slot. If he would have been in the sub slot, I would have 100% been okay with it. I would have been like, all right, very cool, I'm fine with that. I love when they come out with new backliners, because there's always a need for some sort of, like, you know, just variation and stuff, you know, in the back line. But this guy's pretty yikes, I'll be honest with you. So he has a single target charge card, which is ignores defense. Whoop-de-doo. Charge has not really been good for a long time. And then he has an AoE weak point skill, which seems to be just their go-to skill that they put on anybody and everybody, like kind of like the same thing with like an AoE Pierce card. He also has a Shatter ultimate, which is the same ultimate that he had from the other two Shins, so I honestly don't think that he's super worth getting. I mean, he is a step-up banner. If you don't know, step-up banners are really cheap. It's 242 gems to make it through an entire rotation, which is 10 steps. You do get 2 guaranteed SSR characters, or like 2 guaranteed SSR pulls during the steps, and then you get a guaranteed copy of Shin at step 10. So, you know, it's okay. The value is a little bit there if you're willing to spend some, but we just got out of 2 collabs, or just got out of 2 festivals. There's a collab coming out next. It's not really the right time to be wasting gems on a character like this, I'll be honest. So, I mean, I'll do some testing with him. We'll see how it goes, but I'll be honest, more than likely, I'm going to be looking at, you know, Gloxinia a little bit more, and even then, he's not incredibly impressive from what I've seen. So, we do have LR Glox, which is cool and all. He's alright, I guess. They kind of fumbled a little bit. He's cool. I really like Gloxinia. I was really hoping that he would have a fun, really nice, well-rounded kit. And unfortunately, if we go look at him, they, for some reason, just decided to, at rank 1, his AoE card is going to do nothing. which is incredibly disappointing. If it was so at level 2, he disables attack skills. I don't guess they have this completely updated, but it's down here. At level 2, he disables attack skills and buff skills. If they would have at least made it to where he just disables buff skills at level 1, 100% better, like 1,000% better. But literally having no skill effect on a level 1 card is incredibly bad. And the fact that they're upgrading this character's kit with an LR and they're still leaving that is baffling to me. Like, really have no idea what they're doing. But they made it to where this also, buff skills get disabled now, which is cool. The ultimate will now decrease enemies' basic stats by 30%, and it's 3 different red buffs that it ends up putting on them. So interesting, but it actually applies that after the ultimate goes off as well, which is what I've seen, which means that these 30% basic stats are not actually going to go towards the ruin effect that he has on his ultimate, which is also a very weird design choice. His single target gains Sever, and it is a single target bleed. I have seen this card do some pretty decent damage, I'll be honest. It actually looks kind of cool. But it's very odd. It's just, he's not very well rounded, I'll be honest with you. So his passive does change. My dog is coughing. Sorry. His passive increases the hero's defense-related stats by 5% for every alive hero or ally, and then attack-related stats goes up by 5% for every one that dies. And then now it increases all allies' defense-related stats by 10% for every surviving ally. So that's 30% if you're running 3 characters on the field. Might be a little bit more helpful in Heroes Arena or something where you have 4 characters. I've seen people say that he might have good potential in Guild Wars, but I don't play Guild Wars, so I really can't attest to that. If you do, let me know. But increases all allies' attack-related stats by 10% when an ally dies, and they did tack on a little bit of extra, reduces the enemy's crit chance by 30% and crit damage by 40% if bleed is applied. So the problem is, Angels are, I don't want to call them like super meta because I really don't see them super often, but I do see them from time to time. They have a cleanse. You cannot disable their buff skills at level 1, which is really annoying, so they can just cleanse the bleed off. I don't know. I don't know if they're just wanting you to run Gother with this character or what, but it's just very bizarre the way that they decided to go about this. And on top of that, he is also getting his Holy Relic this update, which is in PvP only, which is also really stupid. For every fairy ally participating in battle, increases their basic stats by 5%. For every debuff applied to the enemy, increases fairy allies' crit chance by 5% and crit damage by 10%, maximum of 4 stacks. That's not going to be too hard to max out, mainly because there's a lot of debuffs in the meta right now. Plus, if you're actually running him with other fairy allies, there's 2 different Elaines that actually put on debuffs pretty quickly. If you're running him with, Kings or whatever, you could put like a Sario link on or something like that. That shouldn't be really hard to max out at all. But PvP only, weird. I don't know. His kit is just, in general, is just weird, just super wacky. Everybody has sort of like expressed their displeasure with it. There's even a little bit of an uproar on the forums about buffing him. But I don't know that we'll end up seeing them do that. Honestly, if at the very minimum they could just make it to where his other skill does more than nothing at level 1, I would be at least a little bit happier with it. But God, he is, for an LR, like, I was already kind of let down with Margaret, but now they're going even worse with the next one. And for a commandment to get shafted on it is just that much more disappointing, because commandments are so cool, and like they're old and they needed the help. But oh well, I guess it is what it is. Hopefully we'll maybe see them react to the people's reaction to it, and they'll try to make him a little bit better. But it's very few and far between when they actually update a character after they've came out. So who knows. Kelak is also coming back for global here. One new battle event, Memory Crystal Box icon improvement. So the Memory Crystal Box that you get from the Demon King battle has now been changed. I did see a couple of PNGs of it or whatever in the game files whenever the JP patch came out, but they look kind of cool. Right now they look the exact same as the updated Brawl box, like the event Brawl box that they do, which is kind of confusing some ways. So kind of glad that they did give it its own sort of texture or whatever. But other than that, the SSR costume for Demon King Meliodas has been added to the Sacred Treasure Shop. So if you want to buy that, I guess you can. I mean, if you're missing the costume, or maybe you pulled in before the 900 mark, which if you did, congratulations. If not, I guess it's there if you want it, but I don't know, up to you. And then obviously with Hero Arena Season 5 being active, they are adding the new Shin as a boosted unit. I don't know how helpful that's actually going to be. The human team is kind of nice to use in Heroes Arena, but his CC is pretty bad, and, you know, even though he's going to be giving you 20% all stats, he's more than likely going to get targeted pretty quick, and he might die super fast. So I don't know how likely I am to even use him, to be honest. But who knows? Maybe we'll see how it works. I might try him out a little bit, but I don't have high hopes. But either way, that is pretty much it for this patch. Not a whole lot of actual events or content or anything like that. It's basically just going to be PvP this week, if I had to guess. So we'll see how that goes. And I'm not sure if they're planning on doing a live stream for the collab or not. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. We'll see what's going on with that. I am kind of interested to see how the characters sort of look and everything. It's supposed to be a Tower of God collab, and there's only supposed to be 3 units with it, which is very odd. So we'll see how that kind of pans out. But either way, that's pretty much it for this patch. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on the whole thing. If you're interested in Shin, if you have any interesting team comps you want to see with Shin or even Gloxinia, I'll be happy to try some of them out this week. So that is pretty much it. I will see you guys tomorrow night for live summons on Shin. We'll mess around with both of them a little bit on live stream, and who knows, maybe it'll be fun. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to subscribe if you have not already, and I will see you tomorrow.